Greetings, any awesome, warm, positive vibration. This is Body Culinary coming to you with very sleepy looking eyes, but that's all right this morning. This early day, I wanted to check in and I wanted to share 8 ways that you can perhaps neutralize victimhood. Right, so I get it. A lot has happened to us. I don't know that we really have many human beings on the planet right now that have not been exposed to or been on the receiving end of some kind of trauma. And it is important for us to acknowledge this, but also looping this over and over can be quite paralyzing. I also wanted to share how perhaps freedom hair, what I'm calling freedom hair, whatever your expression is, freedom hair, freedom skin is a lifestyle choice that can perhaps, even if you don't choose to wear this particular expression all the time, perhaps giving yourself periods of time to sit in the throne of your own existence, how you popped out onto this 3D plane, how that can free up a lot of time, basic time, as well as give you access to another kind of confidence and relaxation. So, if you're interested in hearing this little sharing, feel free to stay tuned in. You're also welcome, if you find value here, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. I'm Body Culinary, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman. Shout out to you, whatever your expression here is. Respect is the minimum and the maximum over here. And what I love to share on this channel is encouragement to start, begin, reactivate a personal movement practice, encourage peaceful consumption. What that looks like for me is a consumption pattern, and it goes beyond food, mind you. However, it's a consumption pattern that's focused around food, fuel, energy, if you will, that loves me back, that's giving me something for the return, on my investment of time, shopping, preparation, growing in the garden. So what that looks like is whole, fresh, living, unprocessed fruits, whole fruits, foods that you can recognize, vegetables, fresh herbs, fresh spices. I love to grind them fresh, as well as nuts, seeds, and legumes. The ratios and the amounts, you'll have to find what your sweet spot is for you. And I mentioned the sweet spot a lot. Make an effort to use, first of all, the internet. Make a positive use of the internet, right? So you get something back for the very precious commodity of your time and your attention. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to reach out to me on body-culinary.com or info at body-culinary.com. Over there, I have coachings and things that I don't do all the time online because social media is a whole nother energy in and of itself. So I'm a very early riser. In the mornings, you're welcome to join me for a movement practice. That's a nice little Tootsie Roll of cardio, flexibility, strength training, also coaching you so that you can become more proficient in learning how to move around injuries, keep yourself safe, how to rehab yourself, really good habits so you can be efficient and effective with your fitness. So if it's got anything to do with the garden, fruits and vegetables, and a movement practice, that's me all day. Also like to share my journey of radical self-acceptance, what that looks like for someone that's had a tremendous amount of acne and hyperpigmentation and very, very fine hair that doesn't look like all the styles that I see. I really treasure the relaxation that sitting in what I have, what that does for me, what that cultivates. Now, I'm not against glam. However, I prioritize sweating and playing, and whatever makes that easiest for me, that's what I'm down for. So, do welcome to the channel. You can also follow or see my postings on Body Culinary on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok as Kwasa with a K, peaceful as in full belly eating on TikTok. So that being said, freedom hair. I also like to call this Afro locks. You may have a whole nother texture of hair. Maybe your hair is not even locked. Perhaps even it's a peach fuzz, which I've worn for many, many years. Right now, this is what it's doing. So I'm just going along for the ride to see and explore what my genetic DNA expression with this DNA marker, what it can do, even with fine hair. And it's actually been, continues to be an epiphany. It definitely contributes to clearer skin, I'll tell you that. So, freedom hair, Afro locks, and whatever that looks like for you, whether you're Irish, Asian, chocolate, it frees up so much time. To me, it's an epiphany how much time uh, that I have access to, and this time and resources and energy, I have transferred it from spending a whole lot of time, even with the twisting and double strand twisting, that was fun. However, I have so much more time for my movement practice. Right now, I could not imagine sitting in a salon. It's not a part of my reality, and understand that we are all at different spaces in our journey. I can learn something from somebody that has a full face of makeup on, or even a quote unquote a relaxer. I've had one many years ago. I even had a relaxer and a Jericho with a gold tooth. So it's all good over here. So, however, that precious commodity of time. And by the way, there is a video on this channel how to make an efficient use of this channel in the internet. I recommend that either you join or maybe perhaps play this while you're chopping vegetables, while you're stretching on the floor, or while you're decluttering. It's an excellent way to relax and also get something back for your time. So that's one example of how you can maximize your time, because I'm not spending so much time on trying to cover up all the acne and the hyperpigmentation, which was really uncomfortable and stressful, and I felt even embarrassing. Yeah, healthy sense of ego. I didn't feel good. At the same time, I can also recognize that my liver was telling me something. My skin, the largest eliminative organ, was telling me something about my sleep patterns. And even as a vegetarian, it was telling me my balance is off. In addition to all the things that I had eaten for all of those years, it's inside my body. It has to come out. It's got to go out. It's not going to come out with one green juice or even a week of green juices. So it's very, very humbling. Quite often, we want to skip over the process, and quite often, we're not even present to and accountable to the responses that the body's going to have to all the recreational activities that are disrespectful to the body temple. I mean, if we're really, really honest, without beating up on ourselves, just taking accountability. So freeing up a lot of time, not only just being physical time, but mental time in terms of creating mental space so we can see and assess. Quite often we are moving at a breakneck speed, a frantic, anxiety ridden space. I call it a state of triggeration. Trigger, 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 trigger all day. I don't know if any of us know what it's like to be untriggered. Recently, I went on a trip where I unplugged on like a little island with no access to internet for a week. And as someone that's done exercise and fitness and gone to ashrams, that was it was altering. It was mind altering to be in not only in such quiet, to be serenaded loudly by the ocean all day into the night, to watch shooting stars every night. It was so soothing. It was like a altered reality. So it makes me think again about the type of world that we're living in and what we do to um, engage in a corporate lifestyle, just how much we're just not tuned into nature. That it was so profound. And I've been in nature before. It was so profound to be serenaded by the ocean and the quiet. It is something to experience. It is definitely something to experience. By the way, those of you that are looking to visit, reach out to me on the website. So the time, if and just siphoning off time, and many of us say we don't have time to prepare the food, we don't have time for the garden. If we were to, and if you have access to any kinds of business coaches, usually they will give you exercises and accountability. So we can get out of our subjective feelings and actually take an accounting for how we're spending our time, hours of our time. How much does that add up to in a week? How much does that add up into a month or quarterly? This is time that can be uh, transferred over to our very important movement practice, which is giving us a huge deposit in our 401k of our body temple. Maybe you don't think of it as a 401k, but it's only but so many pills that you can take. It's only but so many surgeries that this precious human suit can take. So freeing up time and mental space for relaxation is so critical. You may hear a couple of chickens in the background. I got a family member doing yoga over there, and another family member is training folks. So that's how we get down over here. So the freeing up your time where you're just not concerned, where you don't have to be so concerned, where you can relax. Think about that. Where you have to be so preoccupied with what you look like, you can't relax. It's a lot that has been normalized that I don't know that that's really healthy to be in that state of being all the time where you just can't relax. So I don't tell grown folks what to do. However, I've made a conscious decision to sit on the throne of my own existence while I'm out here in this human suit. I have made a determination that confidence and health is much more relaxing and important to me than quote unquote beauty. Now, it's not that I'm putting myself down, I'm not insulting myself. However, when I am the most helpful is when I feel the most attractive to me. And I can be okay with that without a stitch of makeup on. I feel good. I feel good in my skin. And I'm very protective of that and things coming at my psyche. So, neutralizing victimhood, the other part of what I wanted to tap into today. A lot has happened to many of us. And perhaps many of us have not felt heard, or we haven't had what has happened to us acknowledged. Maybe whether that's therapy or the person that did it to us. What are we to do with all of this stuff, right? When our subconscious is driving most of our quote unquote waking behaviors. The subconscious is driving our triggeration, in addition to being triggered through what's coming through these screens, is triggering a lot of primal fears, right? Fear of loss of love or never finding love, fear of criticism, fear of poverty, fear of ill health, and fear of death. These are basic primal fears. And so through looping what may have legitimately happened to us, the fear running in the background, which is primal, and it supersedes, it will bypass all logic, all that we know to do, all the information that you know about fresh foods and exercise. It's paralyzing once it's triggered. So I thought perhaps I could share some simple, they may even seem overly simple. I don't like the word hack, but for lack of a better term, or things that come to mind right now, a lifestyle hack. And I love things that you have access to. We underestimate the movement practice, the garden, and preparing your food. So here are 8 hacks or things that I found that I do that actually add to a lot of relaxation and things that can make you feel better. One, this is very, very old school, is cinnamon, right? And you may have heard of cinnamon being used to, to assist your insulin levels, right? When I was growing up, cinnamon was used to sweeten the house or to pray over a new home that you went into. You may want to revamp and declutter your house and make it new again, right? So cinnamon, not only can you boil it in your home, right? Because we spend so much money on these essential oils. However, with the whole fresh living foods, right, unprocessed, a lot of the natural perfumes and the essences and the scents, right, with that aromatherapy is inside of the fresh herbs. So not only can you take the fresh cinnamon sticks and buy them in bulk, they're less expensive. You can crack them yourself. I keep a little coffee grinder so that you can grind them fresh and hold them in a container. You can use it to trick your palate into thinking you're getting something sweet if you'd like to assist yourself in breaking that sugar addiction. So I'm taking some time to give you some video coaching here. So you can grind the fresh cinnamon. You can also put it in a pot and boil it so that the scent is very fragrant in your home. It's wonderful for yourself and your children and your family members to wake up to these types of very calming scents. Also, these scents, they will jar your memory, right? They can jar your memory and trigger your memory in a positive way when your children remember those scents, or your husband or your partner remembers those scents. These are things you can keep going on a regular basis in your home. So one, Cinnamon sticks, buy them in bulk, grind them. You can boil it, you can sip it, you can use it to sweeten your tea, and it's a lot less expensive than artificial sweeteners, even the ones you find in the health food store. Number two, natural light. Not only natural sunlight, but natural light at night. So I found a lovely, maybe I'll post a picture either on social media or in the community section. I found a wonderful, it's not a candelabra, but a candle holder that's wood. And it makes me think of like Little House on the Prairie or some off the grid kind of scene. And it's wood and it has a holder and it has, it's a wooden candle holder and it has a back, right? An oval back. And you just can put a little nail and hang it up. Now, the interesting thing, it takes the long candles. And so I've had it for a while. I found it, I don't even know if I paid a couple of dollars, $2.50 for it. However, when I put it on at night, oh my gosh, it immediately set an ambiance. And I realized, oh my goodness, the natural light, and it doesn't need kerosene. And the way the backing is on it, I don't have to worry about it touching the wall, and it's high up enough so that if I have visitors or any children visiting, that they can't touch it. However, it immediately set a tone. I think I like it better than a salt lamp. And I found the natural sunlight is just natural light at night. It's very relaxing. Quite often, many of us don't shut off, right? Because we have the screens on and we feel this anxiety. We're driven to look at our numbers, to look at sales, to look at analytics. However, you can cue yourself to start to wind down and relax in the evening with natural light. So I have that candle holder. I also have another one that I thrifted that's it looks like a traditional candle holder. It's porcelain and has a little holder on it. And again, it takes the tall candles, which you can get very inexpensively. I think even less expensive than tea light candles. So I noticed that it lights up pretty much the whole room. It has a very dim light. It is so immediately relaxing. It almost triggers me to want to put on some relaxing ambient music. So natural light at night. So see, perhaps maybe look at a Goodwill or someplace that has antique stuff, or at an estate, someone that's clearing their estate, their storage room, and see if you can find a natural candle holder that takes the long candles. It is lovely at night. Oh, it immediately, I love immediate mood shifters. So that's natural light in the evening. Number three, lemongrass and jasmine tea. Lemongrass is also known as fever grass. I have it growing out in the garden. It makes the most lovely tea. You can also infuse it into different types of recipes. So even if I'm making what I call liquid gold, one of the sauces that I make that's live, if somebody wants to do a lightly cooked version, you can do that as well. I can take that lemongrass, which is so, oh my gosh, it has such a scent to it. And it's it's a very mood, I call it a mood lifter, mood brightening, right? I love also lemongrass oil. However, lemongrass oil can get very expensive. And if you can perhaps grow the herb or get your hands on a fresh herb, it is a wonderful tea. And I prefer not to use sweeteners in tea, although I've experimented with stevia and all kinds of things. Many stevias have an aftertaste. It can be wonderful to have teas that don't have sweetener, to train yourself not to just pour liquid calories in the absence of the other nutrients that come with them, right? Usually sugar comes in a package with fiber and water and antioxidants. So when that sugar is extracted and refined just so we can get another hit of sugar, it can contribute to many things like unstable blood sugar. So it took me a while to retrain my palate to enjoy teas without sweetener. So two of my favorite and multi-purpose, we do Grandma Lou style here. We have lemongrass. Also, if you can get your hands on some jasmine tea. So here's what you can do. I'm using the tea. I'm drinking it as tea, right? Because we want to take one ingredient and work it every which way to Sunday. I'm taking and I'm making the tea. I'm also using it as a splash, like they used to have Gina Tate back in the day, like an after bath splash. Well, I'm also in the morning. If you take your bath in the evening, right, then you freed up some time for your movement practice. So I like to have that chilled and to splash my face with it, or you can take a wet or dampen a piece of cotton and put it over your face, and you have that very subtle smell of the lemongrass or the jasmine tea. I'm also taking the same tea and putting the tea inside of a water bottle, and that's what I'm spritzing my hair with. So one thing, and I'm using it for multiple purposes. So that's lemongrass and jasmine tea. All right, that's number 3. Number 4, sunrises and sunsets. So shout out to all of my early risers. How many of you, right? And you know, in your quiet moments by yourself, how many of you are catching the sunrise on a regular basis? Think about that. Are you catching the sunrise? Do you know, if you look outside of your building or apartment building, where is the sunrise? What would it take for you to be able to catch the sunrise for 30 days or every day for the rest of your life? What would happen if you prioritize this catching the sunrise, the magnificence and the quiet and the soothing nature of the sunrise, right? I call it reality TV. That is reality TV to me. The sunrise. If we looked at that accounting, right, of our time, and if we find we have several hours that we're in front of the screens, greetings, thank you, nothing but joy. What would happen? Do you think it would shift how you feel? Anxiety, when the time when anxiety is being broadcast at you, if you were to catch the sunrise, even if you can't see it all day, the sunrise now is on your phone, on these expensive devices. Wherever you are locally, it will tell you the time of the sunrise. What would that do for you to just in your mind, that decision to prioritize seeing the sunrise? I invite you, I think that's going to be our next challenge, is to prioritize catching the sunrise. What would that do for you, right, in your mind? So I invite you, sunrise, and if you can see sunsets, but definitely the sunrise, right? What would that do to put you in tune, just like with taking care and nurturing a few plants, right? At least to start. What would that do with putting you back into a circadian rhythm with nature? What would that do for your mind? So that's number 4, the sunrise. Let's see what our next tip is. Oh, number 5 is rinsing your hair with water. Rinsing your hair with water. So not necessarily shampooing it, especially if you have very thin or fine hair that's very delicate that can't take a whole lot of shampoo. I find what I call water or shower meditations, right? Kind of think of it like if you get into a waterfall, but a warm one. And I'm big on reframing the narrative over here. Don't mind me. Just rinsing and being able to immerse your whole body, and especially your head, your ori, in water is extremely therapeutic. So because I'm not worrying about the oil and styles and all of that, I'm free, right? Freedom here. I'm free to immerse my whole head and massage my scalp in water and blot it dry because it's light and fluffy because it doesn't have the oil. It is extremely therapeutic. I'd rather douse myself in water and a waterfall in my home that you're paying rent or mortgage for than have to take, pills or medications or other things. Sometimes I reason that there are a lot of things today in society that we're medicating with a chemical substance when a lot of this could be addressed therapeutically with nature, and if we had safe spaces for relating with human beings that are, have emotional intelligence and that are able to hold space. That's another story. So rinsing your hair with water. These things, if we go back now to neutralizing victimhood, right, which is the goal today, right, to just explore. It's not that what happened to you didn't happen to you, right? That's an imprint inside your brain, right? A function of the brain is mental activity, and it's looping. So perhaps we can't erase what happened. However, we can. We're highly programmable beings. We can write a new program. How can we have access to that? By giving yourself new experiences and certain habitual experiences that trigger your senses in a positive way that make you feel better. So with scents, textures, temperatures, you can start to put new experiences and new memories and new frames of reference into your mental program. Okay, so moving on. Number six would be these plants here. They're very inexpensive, right? Sometimes you can find them in at Asian markets, and sometimes they're known as good luck plants. They're very, very inexpensive, and they grow and they proliferate very, very easily. So I'll show you the ones I have here. So this is a wonderful way to give yourself, they have roots here. It's a wonderful way to give yourself access, right? To some kind of greenery, some type of fresh plant that I find can trigger you to think of abundance when you see lush and when you see green. Okay. Number seven, neutralizing victimhood. This huge in your toolbox is your movement practice. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to engage, activate, to discover, to refine, cultivate a personal movement practice that is yours, that perhaps you can commit it to memory, so then you can relax into your movement practice to move stagnation, stagnate energy, stagnant thoughts, stagnant lymph, and stagnant that one of those bodies of water inside this human suit, to move it. It can only be moved with a movement practice, and the energetics of movement really affects you mentally and emotionally. Your movement practice can really be a tool. It's an activity, something you do rather than just sit here and listen to the internet. You're welcome to put me on if you're on the treadmill, if you're walking. I will invite you to replay this to give yourself unapologetically some type of support. Your movement practice is number 7. And this brings us to number 8, your fuel. Your fuel is definitely a way you can neutralize victimhood in terms of, because now, in addition, similarly to your movement practice, it is something that you're being very, very intentional about. It's something that can bring you into the present moment, just making a decision that I deserve and I will make time to prioritize feeding myself the most beautiful, colorful, nutrient dense fuel, optimal fuel that is available to me. And utilizing what's available to you, usually that will open your radar, so you'll start to identify other things that are available to you. For example, one time many years ago, I didn't know about organic produce. Somebody told me about a food co-op, and I knew as a young mom I was only going to feed my child healthy food. So I traveled all the way to another borough. I think I took like maybe a couple of buses and a couple of trains to get to this food co-op. And there they had such great prices. Shout out to the Park Slope Food Co-op. I was able as a young mother to compare conventional produce and experiment with organic produce, to taste the difference, to see the difference. And so that opened me up to a whole nother world of organic produce. And it was affordable, right? And I worked once a month for, I think it was 2 hours, almost 2 hours and 45 minutes, in order to have access to less expensive produce. Been a member for many years, and my offspring was raised in that food co-op. So when you put something on your radar, usually other types of solutions will show up on your radar. So your fuel is bigger than just the food that you're eating. Fuel, I invite you to look at it as energy, even as cellular instructions, right? We have genes, maybe of them not so beneficial genes, and also they're beneficial genes. They will be expressed. They will turn on, those instructions will turn on in the environment of either very flavorful substances masquerading as food that have lots of crunch, however, don't have anything to really nourish your immune system, or they will be expressed, your genes will be expressed as they're bathing in the oxygen, right? How do we put the oxygen in? With greens into our bloodstreams, right? Just want to just affirm that we have access. If you say you do, you do. It will start to show up. So solutions will start to show up on your radar. So this freedom, hair and skin, this lifestyle, really giving yourself permission to relax, and to have a relaxation lifestyle where you can just enjoy yourself, allow your skin and your hair for some time just to breathe and feel relaxed. Like you're not obligated to everybody else. Your first obligation is to yourself, to your mental, emotional, and physical health. So this is Body-Culinary. If you have questions, if you're not able to get access to me, you're welcome to take advantage of the guide, and I put together a guide. It's called Whole Living Foods in the Hood with Menus to Fit Your Budget. So there you can see visuals and pictures of how I've been consuming whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods as a lifestyle. Again, you'll find your own sweet spot of what those ratios look like. However, if you get started somewhere, you'll start to crowd out the highly processed foods, and you can actually start to change your palate. So you'll see examples of different types of spending plans and what you can get for those different spending plans, and some ideas of different things I've thought of that I can put together, right? Especially if you're buying in bulk, which I have done for many years from wholesaler and also from the food co-op and the farmers market. So you can see exactly what I've been doing. Also, if you're one of those folks also who have had tremendous amount of acne and hyperpigmentation, you can see what I've been doing. I've been telling folks for a minute. I've been putting whole, fresh, unprocessed foods for years now, primarily inside, not products. Products did not clear up my skin. It's my movement practice and my food, my fuel, what I'm nourishing my cells and my colon and my arteries with. So I'm putting the food primarily inside, and that's also what I'm putting on my hair and my skin. If I cannot eat it, I do not put it on my face. And actually, it's a lot of relaxation. I threw away my shower caddy and I have no intention on bringing it back. So I don't need a whole lot of products. The body temple knows what to do when you give it what it can recognize, real food. If you put things in it can't recognize, the body's like, what the heck is this? Inflammation, inflammation. The body's very intelligent and it knows exactly what to do. So I invite you to try on confidence in health, not just beauty, confidence and health. And I would love to hear how your journey is going. If you're interested in the cocoon and coming to move with me, vigorous, joyous movement in the early day, you're welcome to join me and reach out to me on body-culinary.com. I'm inviting you all to have a great day on purpose just because you said so. And I will see you soon. So snack because I don't eat much, miss so much. Oh, sorry, I've been around. That's okay. That's okay. Everything is in the right timing. All right, see you all soon.